A young man grew up in a modest neighborhood, under the shadow of a father whose anger and bitterness shaped the atmosphere of their small home. The father worked hard but always seemed to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders. Every day, the house echoed with complaints about bills, injustices, and unfulfilled dreams. The boy absorbed these frustrations, learning to see the world as a place of scarcity and struggle. As the years passed, the young man vowed to escape the cycle of negativity. He studied diligently, earned a degree, and secured a job that allowed him to afford a sleek apartment in the city. On the surface, he had everything he thought he wanted: stability, independence, and success. But beneath the polished exterior, he felt empty. Each morning, he woke up to the same muted feeling of dissatisfaction. He'd glance at his surroundings: a fridge stocked with food, a closet full of clothes, a steady paycheck, but could only see what he lacked. His father's voice still lingered in his mind, criticizing, complaining, never celebrating. One day, he got a call that his father was gravely ill. He hadn't spoken to him in months, avoiding the man's constant negativity. Reluctantly, he visited his father in the hospital. When he walked in, he was struck by the sight of his father, frail and weary, lying on the bed. The man who once seemed so large, so unyielding, now looked small and vulnerable. As they talked, his father's usual complaints emerged, even in his weakened state. But now, instead of irritation, the young man felt an unfamiliar sense of understanding. His father's words were laced with regret about the opportunities he had missed and the happiness he had overlooked while chasing after a life that never felt like enough. For the first time, the young man saw not just his father, but a reflection of himself. Leaving the hospital that evening, the young man was shaken. He realized that if he didn't change, he would end up exactly like his father, resentful, unfulfilled, and unable to see the good in his life until it was too late. This moment was a wake-up call. From that day forward, he began making small changes. He started by reflecting on the good in his life each morning: a warm bed, the ability to pay his bills, and the chance to grow. He reached out to friends and reconnected with people he had distanced himself from. He joined a local volunteering group, finding joy in helping others and shifting his focus away from himself. At work, instead of chasing perfection or recognition, he began to take pride in the process, celebrating small wins. He even started therapy to unpack the negativity he had carried for so long. Slowly but surely, his perspective shifted. He still remembered his father's voice, but now it served as a guide, not a burden. He vowed to live differently, to focus on gratitude, connection, and the moments that made life meaningful. His father's passing wasn't just an end, it was a beginning. Through his father's regrets, the young man learned to embrace his own life fully, determined not to let it pass him by.